What's going on YouTube? Today we're going to take a look at the Soundcore Liberty 4s. And they sent these out to me about a month ago, but I had some issues with some beta firmware. They just didn't sound right and a couple things didn't go right. So I waited for my review. And I'm glad I waited the month because these Liberty 4s are one of the best earbuds that you can buy right now, especially for the price point at about $150. I'm going to argue you can't buy a better pair of earbuds. I mean, super stylish, really comfortable, and the sound. Well, let's get into this review. Taking a look at the box, guys, I just want to point out a couple key specs before we continue on with the review. But if you're looking for an awesome pair of headphones at about the $150 price point, check my link down below because the Liberty 4s just can't be beat. When you pick them up, listen to Futures, turn on the lights, and you'll hear that bass and you'll feel that bass. For such a tiny pair of earphones, they're definitely packing a punch, and that's what I like to hear. Get it? That's what I like to hear. Other than me being a little bit cheesy, I couldn't resist myself. The Liberty 4s are far from cheesy. These are a premium sounding earbud. Again, at $150. These could be priced a little bit higher, but don't sell Soundcore. I said that. You have high-res audio support with LDAC as well, so you're getting a very, very nice premium sound. I did try this out with an iPhone, and I tried it out with Android, and both of them sound great, but of course with LDAC, it's going to sound even better on Android phones. Heart rate sensors built into these buds, so if you want to track your health status throughout the day, you'll be able to track your stress and your heart rate while you're wearing these earbuds. So a nice job for adding a little bit of an extra perk. You also do get spatial audio, so if you're watching a movie or you're listening to music, you can really get into the music or really get into that movie and feel like you're sitting somewhere where they're playing around you. So it's a great way to give you that, I'd say 5.1 kind of sound, even though you're just wearing two earbuds. You also do get a personalized listening experience thanks to Hear ID Sound 2.0. It's going to kind of make you do a hearing test, and it's going to adjust the sound to your hearing. After all, our ears are all different. I might hear things that you don't. I might have been at the club a little bit too much when I was younger, and I might be a little bit more deaf than you are. With Hear ID, I can adjust the sound to my actual ears, and I definitely like that. But enough talk about it. This is what you get inside of the box, guys. So of course you get a couple of earbuds, small, large, medium too, and then of course the more user-friendly ones are already on your buds. These will just be like a medium. And this is the case. This is a wireless case as well as a USB-C case. So if you just want to kind of plop it on your wireless charger as you're getting ready, it'll wirelessly charge, or you can plug it in with a cable. What I like about the case personally is it's a little bit more unique. You see they put some lights on the inside and you get like this light bar on the front. So Soundcore is making this more of a modern looking case, even though it is just a case for your earbuds. I like seeing a little bit of innovation, even with the most of simplest applications. Inside, of course, here's your USB cable. So they do give you a USB-C to USB-A cable. And you also do get a manual, but that's basically it when it comes to the unboxing. Before we get into the application, there's a couple specs you might want to know, like battery life. So you'll get about 9 hours of playback with ANC off, 7 hours with ANC on, and 5 hours with that spatial audio turned on as well. The case is going to give you an extra 3 times charge approximately, so you can always plop them in the case for about 15 minutes and get about 3 hours of listening time. These do have kind of like a special touch control built into them, and at first I really didn't like them. Because the difference is, if you guys are used to any type of touch controls on any other type of device, usually you just touch on the stem and that's going to change it. With these ones, you actually have to pinch the two sides in order to get the touch controls to work. So in the beginning, I actually thought this was not a great idea. I was not happy, but after about a week or so of using these touch controls via the pinch method, I actually prefer it, and I'll tell you why. The reason is because with other earbuds that you touch the stem, if you're just adjusting them in your ear, sometimes it's going to recognize that as a touch and it's going to change your track or increase the volume, whatever you have it set to. But with these ones, again, if you pinch it, you're deliberately pinching the stem, so you're not doing it by accident, and I think this is a great idea. Once again, it takes a little adjustment. It takes a little bit of patience, if you will, because you actually have to use 2 fingers to pinch instead of just a tap or a swipe. But I think it's definitely better, especially if you are adjusting these earbuds. Now, they do stay in your ear. I never had these pop out of my ear, but I'm always adjusting them. I mean, I'm walking up and down steps. I'm walking through Times Square. I'm kind of dodging people left and right, doing this and that. So sometimes you need a little bit of an adjustment. Especially at the gym, sometimes you need to adjust these. So I like the fact that I have to pinch. That's one thing I want to tell you guys. It's a little bit different with these touch controls, but I actually like them. Another thing that I do want to mention about these is the bass is bumping. These just sound really, really good. I was not expecting them to sound as good because once again, I did have a beta firmware And in the beginning, it wasn't all that punchy, and I was like, well, I don't know about these Liberty 4s, but after I got the release update and another update after that, the sound has just got so much better, and the ANC has gotten so much better. Everything was improved, so that's why sometimes it's great to take your time when it comes to a review. Don't just pop out a review to get the views at the right time. You might miss out on something that's added on later on or fix something that in a later firmware. So I definitely got to tell you guys, if you do buy these, listen to Future, turn on the lights, and you're going to hear that bass. Listen to Fisher, yeah, the girls. If you're a bass head, you're going to hear that bass drop. These are just awesome sounding no matter what type of genre you're listening to. The Liberty 4s are also capable of multi-point connection, so you can connect it to two phones, or you can connect it to a phone and a laptop, whatever you want to do, and it'll stop playing on one device and play on another. So here we go. I've connected it to my Pixel as well as my iPhone. 60% battery, you can see Liberty 4 is connected, but I'm going to press play on my iPhone, and it's playing on my left earbud that I have connected. Here's the right one right there. Let me raise the volume just a little bit. And then if you want to switch to the other device, just kind of press pause on the other one, click on the other device that you want to play, press on play, and it's going to start playing on the earbud itself. So it's smart enough to know which device you're listening to as long as you press pause on the first one, well, first, and then press play on the other device. So definitely a nice job when it comes to Soundcore. Taking a look at the application, Soundcore is one of the best app makers in the market in this space as far as I'm concerned. They give you a lot of options, a lot of customization, and when you buy a product you want to be able to customize it to yourself. Going into settings, there's a couple options I want to show you. Number one, there is a fit test, and that's just going to test out the ear tip to make sure you're using the right tip. You always want to use just the tip that's perfect for you. You don't want to use anything that's a little bit too big or a little bit too small, and then you're not going to get that perfect blocking connection. In-ear detection, if you want it to start playing while you put them in your ear, you can go ahead and turn that on. And of course, you do have that dual connection, so you can see what devices you're connected, and maybe you want to switch over to another device, so it's going to show you which devices you've previously connected to. And once again, you can switch them willy-nilly if you want to. So again, I like the ability to pair it up with multiple devices and then decide which two I want to connect them to. Auto power off, save that battery life. So here we go. You can have them auto power off within 30 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. And again, updating the firmware is what it's all about. I'm happy I got a couple updates because it definitely made these high on my list. Now these do pack a punch. They do pack ANC, so you are going to block out that noise around you. You can also turn that off, or you can have a transparency mode, which is going to let you kind of hear the noises around you, or if you're just talking to someone, maybe in a shop. If you enable vocal mode, it's going to let you hear all of the people talking around you. I'm more of the I don't want to hear anything type of mode, so I leave ANC on. And you do have something called self-adaptation, so it will kind of adapt the ANC based on your environment. So if you're on a train or in a noisy environment, it's going to switch it to high, and maybe you're in a library studying, whatever, it's going to switch it to low. But of course, you do have the option, once again, thanks to Soundcore's excellent app, to go in and select what you want to select. Personally, I leave it on adaptive because I think it does a really good job. But for more of my thoughts on ANC, let's go over to Times Square where it's noisy 24/7. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on how much blocking I think the ANC does. So let's head over to the square and check them out.
When it comes to noise cancellation, where's the best place to test it out? That, of course, is in Times Square, and that's where I'm walking through right now. So Liberty 4s do a really nice job with noise cancellation. If I had to put a number on it, I'd say about 50 to 60% of this unwanted chatter behind me is canceled out. So I think that Liberty 4s do a really nice job. Again, super comfortable in the ear. I like the size. I like everything about them. Super, super comfortable. And I'm canceling out unwanted noise and just paying attention to my own music. And that's what it's about after all. Let's continue on with this review.
Using the Liberty 4s as my commuter earbuds definitely blocked out a lot of that train noise, so really happy with the ANC on the Liberty 4s. Checking out some more settings here. Spatial audio is awesome. I think spatial audio is something that's really, really cool. And you do have a couple options for spatial audio. So you do have head tracking or fixed, and music or movie mode. So if you don't know about spatial audio, let me tell you a little bit more about it. Another great thing about these earbuds is it has the ability to track your head and move the music along with it. So when you go to the left, you'll hear all of your music in the right. When you move your head to the right, you'll hear all your music to the left. And I think the spatial audio is just out of space good. It's really, really good. And if you just want that immersive kind of like surround sound, they do have the fixed spatial audio as well. Great for watching movies, let me tell you, and even better for listening to music on the go. But I'm really impressed with the head tracking. Really does a nice job. kind of disorients you just a little bit, so I wouldn't recommend it while you're doing activities or whatnot. But just walking around or whatnot, I think spatial audio is the way to go. Good job, Soundcore. When it comes to the sound EQ, there's a couple options I want to show you. Number one, you can do that hearing ID test, and it's going to personalize that sound to your specific ears. Now, I personally haven't done that with these earbuds. I've done it with other Soundcore products in the past, but I've always been happy with their defaults. They give you a lot of defaults here depending on what type of genre of music you're listening to. Soundcore Signature is going to give you the best overall sound stage for just about any type of music. So if you switch a lot in your playlist from house to hip hop to jazz to classical, whatever the case is, I'd suggest leaving it on Sound Signature. If you're more in that dance type of mood, if you're more in that EDM type of mood, or you're more in that kind of hip hop, I want to feel the bass booster is where it's at. And if you don't like bass, I know a few of you are out there that don't like bass, you can go ahead and reduce it. But once again, I think their defaults do a very nice job no matter what you're listening to, even if that's just a podcast. So just kind of play around with this and see what works best for you, but I'm going to tell you guys you're going to get an awesome sound experience. And if you're more of that musical type of person and you know how to adjust these EQs and you know what sound you want to get, of course you can make your own custom EQ. Once again, it's all about customization, and that's why I always recommend Soundcore products over any other kind of earbud that I personally have tested, because of the customization. And of course, because of the sound, you're getting a very, very nice sound stage. When it comes to touch controls, guys, there's a couple options here. You have two options for the left and the right earbud, so you can go ahead and switch them around. And if I just click on the left bud, you can see you can have it change the volume up and down, next, previous, play, pause, Siri for your digital assistant, or you can cycle through the ambient sound, or you can have none. So I like the fact that we get different options for a single, a double, and a triple press, and we get different options for the left and the right bud. Now, once again, these use the squeeze method, and I'm happy about the squeeze method because it eliminates all of those false positives that I used to get on other earbuds. So I'm definitely really happy with the squeeze method. I think this is a nice way to do touch controls personally. Let me know what you think about them if you have these down in the comments, or once you buy them, let me know what you think about the squeeze versus just the overall touch. Again, I think that's a much better method. And then finally, the last thing I want to show you guys is the health and wellness aspect of the LIberty 4s. You can have it monitor your heart rate if you want to. So if we go into, let's just go into the month here, you can see the times where it's recorded my heart rate, and you can see your minimum, your maximum, and your average. Again, it's a nice way to kind of get an idea of how your heart's doing if you're into that sort of thing. And it's also going to monitor your stress. So you can see your average stress range for the month. You can see my range 68 to 98. You can also do a manual stress test if you want to. If you want to know if you're stressed or not. I personally know when I'm stressed. It's usually when I'm yelling. But if you guys don't know, you can go ahead and manually test your stress. So I think it's a nice option for earbuds. I mean, they are in your ear, so why not kind of get some more information from them? So you can see here, 63 to 103, 197, 127. Heart rate was a little bit high. I have been using these for working out. I personally wouldn't recommend them for working out just because they're not really all that waterproof. I'd recommend the X10s, which are waterproof, but I just took them to the gym because that's where I listen to the most amount of my music, because I wanted to get that full sound experience. And again, really great for the gym. I just don't know how long they'd last depending on how much you sweat. So I wouldn't recommend them if you guys are running a lot, but if you do run with them, just know they will stay in your ears, no doubt about that. If you take phone calls, let's just take a listen to what they're going to sound like, both outdoors and indoors. So let's go to the sound test and see what the LIberty 4s can do.
Just walking along the street, walking along 6th Avenue, you heard a bike go by. So, everyday noise, everyday traffic. This is the outdoor sound test. This is the indoor test, so I'm just chilling in my office, doing my thing on my computer, chatting as I normally would if you were right in front of me. Not really speaking too loudly, I'm not speaking too softly, normal volume. So this is Soundcore quality test indoors for the LIberty 4s. Let me know what you think about indoor versus outdoor. Let's continue on.
That's it when it comes to the Soundcore LIberty 4s. If you're in the market for a pair of earbuds that sound way better than their price point, again at $150, I think these are a steal. They come in white, they come in black, so whatever your flavor is, you can pick them up. If you're interested in a pair of headphones that bring the bass, that bring all your music alive, definitely check out the Soundcore LIberty 4s. If you have any questions about them, let me know down in the comments below, but these are a win in my book. I can't stress that enough. I really appreciate you guys watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll catch you in another video.